Hola clase, this is Señora Place. We're finishing the last week of the last chapter, Chapter 7b. ¿Te gusta comer al aire libre? Do you like to eat outdoors? This is Part 2, Grammar and Review, Week 16. In this video, you will learn about two grammar topics, usted and ustedes commands, and the uses of por. Section 1, usted and ustedes commands. In this section in Spanish, you'll be able to talk and write about what people do at cookouts, tell people what to do when hiking. So you're giving a command to a person you don't know well or to a group of people. All right, you must pause and write this entire slide. Usted and ustedes commands. To give an affirmative or negative command in the usted and ustedes form, use the present tense yo form as a stem, just as you did for negative to commands. Add e or en for AR verbs. Add a or an for ER/IR verbs. So again, change to the yo form, drop the o, add opposite endings. AR becomes e or en, ER/IR becomes a or an. So here's AR verbs. Cortar, corto. Señor, corte las chuletas de cerdo. Sir, cut the pork chops. But notice, it's not corta, it's corte, opposite ending. Probar means to taste or to try. Put it in the yo form first, pruebo. It captures the stem changing o to ue. Then drop the o and put opposite ending. AR becomes en if you're talking to a group of people. Señores, prueben la carne asada. So, gentlemen, try the grilled meat. Same thing. Add a or an for ER/IR verbs. Perder becomes pierdo. You notice this e changes to ie in the yo form. Then drop the o and put opposite ending. No pierdan ustedes los fósforos. Hey, you all, please don't lose the matches. Servir. The e becomes I in the yo form, sirvo. Señorita, sirve la ensalada, por favor. So, ma'am, serve the salad. Affirmative and negative usted and usted commands have the same spelling changes and irregular forms as negative to commands. So not only do you have stem changing verbs, right, like e to ie, o to ue, e to I, you also have car, gar, zar verbs. Remember, car for usted forms will be que or ken for ustedes. Gar will be ge or gen. And zar will be se or sen. So you have to be aware of these stem changings and spell changings that happen. Here are some examples of irregular usted or ustedes commands. Buscar, to look for. Usted command, no busque. Ustedes commands, no busquen. See what I told you about? The car becomes que or ken. Hacer, to do or to make. No haga, no hagan. Dar, to give. No de, no den. Ir, to go. So we can have vaya or vayan. Ser, to be, permanent. Sea, sean. Estar, to be, temporary. Este, estén. And to say don't be, put no in front. Continue. The same rules you know for two commands regarding pronouns apply to usted and ustedes commands as well. Attach pronouns to affirmative commands. ¿Dónde ponemos la leña? Where do we put the firewood? Pónganla en un lugar seco. Put it in a dry place. Put it. Notice la leña, we replaced it with it. And now we can attach to commands when I'm telling somebody to positively do something. With a negative command, when I'm telling them not to do something, the pronouns go before the verb. So, encendemos la fogata ahora. Do we light the bonfire now? No, no la enciendan todavía. Don't light it yet. It goes in front instead of after. Notice, you can attach it to positive commands or you have to put it in front of negative commands. All right, so complete the sentences using the correct usted or ustedes commands. So, ustedes por favor busquen leña para hacer una fogata. Notice it's going to give you ustedes or usted in the front. So, You all, please look for some firewood to make a bonfire. Usted, you're now talking to one person. Put it in the yo form. Drop the O, opposite ending. What is the yo form of poner? Pongo. Then put the opposite ending. Usted ponga la leña en el suelo con piedras alrededor. So you put the firework on the ground with rocks all around. Ustedes, you're now talking to you all. So you all, blank la fogata con fósforos. Light the bonfire with matches. Encender in the yo form is enciendo. That E changes to IE. Drop the O, put the opposite ending. Enciendan la fogata con los fósforos. Number 4. Usted, por favor, blank la carne. Grill the meat. Usted, por favor, hace la carne. Right? Put in the yo form, aso. Drop the O, opposite ending. AR becomes E. Ustedes, por favor, blank la fogata. You all, please, put out the bonfire. So apagar in the yo form is apago. But remember, when you put the opposite ending, EN, that G needs a U to keep the original sound. Apaguen la fogata. So put it in the yo form, drop the O, opposite ending, but sometimes we have C changes to QU, G changes to GU, and sometimes we have weird yo forms like pongo and siendo, stem changing verbs. So always put it in the yo form, drop the O, opposite ending. Number 2, uses of por. In this section in Spanish, you'll be able to talk and write about what to do at cookouts and tell what people do when hiking. So let's talk about what por is. Por means for, through, or by. All right, well, let me go back. To indicate length of time or distance, dejen el pollo en la parrilla por unos minutos más. Leave the chicken on the grill for some more minutes. So for here, to indicate like for 10 minutes, for 2 miles. To indicate movement through, along, or around. See, so it can also mean through. Vamos a dar una caminata por ese sendero. We're going to take a walk through this trail. Hay un buen lugar por ahí. There's a good place over here, over there. So it can mean to indicate movement through, along, or around something. To indicate an exchange of one thing or another. Do you see that? Here's the exchange symbol. No pague usted demasiado por esos melones. Don't pay too much for those melons. All right? So payment for the melons in exchange for something. To indicate reason or motive. Las chuletas de cerdo no son muy saludables por ser bastante grasosas. So the pork chops are not healthy for being too greasy. So that is the reason or motive, because they are, by being too greasy. So notice the word by. To indicate a substitution or action on someone else's behalf. Felipe y Marcos traigan esa leña al fuego por su papá. So Felipe y Marcos bring the firewood to the fire for your dad, like in his place. To do it for someone else. And to indicate means of communication or transportation. Nos hablamos por teléfono ayer. We talked through phone yesterday, or by phone. So again, for, through, and by, right? Where you're saying you're going through something, for something, or in exchange of someone else, or for something else. And here are some expressions with por that are not exactly what por stands for. Por la mañana, por la tarde, por la noche. In the morning, afternoon, and night. Por lo general, in general. Por favor, please, or for a favor. Por ejemplo, for example. Por primera or segunda vez, for a first or second time. Por supuesto, of course. Por eso, that's why, or because of that, or for that reason, or therefore. Por eso. All right, so now that you've written all these down, let's see if you can read this paragraph and use the correct phrase. Raquel is writing a postal card to her friend Anita in Washington. Read what it says and write the correct appropriate expressions for por. So, dear Ana, qué bonita país es Guatemala. What a beautiful country Guatemala is. Ayer, blank, fuimos a la ciudad de Tikal. Yesterday, blank, we went to the city of Tikal. So, it's not probably in general, it's probably in the morning. Por la mañana, fuimos a la ciudad de Tikal. Unas ruinas mayas bellísimas. Some beautiful Mayan ruins. Tikal está en medio de una selva tropical. Tikal is in the middle of a tropical jungle. Blank, vimos pájaros en muchos árboles. So, blank, we saw a lot of birds in the trees. Probably not in general, probably because of that, or therefore. Por eso, vimos pájaros en muchos árboles. Blank, hemos probado la comida guatemalteco. So, either because of that, we've tried Guatemalan food, or of course we've tried Guatemalan food. Of course we've tried Guatemalan food. Por supuesto, hemos probado la comida guatemalteca. El maíz es importante en la comida aquí. Corn is important in the food here. Blank, comen tortillas, tamales y enchiladas. Blank, they eat tortillas, tamales, and enchiladas. So, please, or for example. It's probably for example. For example, they eat tortillas, tamales, and enchiladas. También he probado los postres guatemaltecos. We have also tried Guatemalan desserts. Ayer, blank, comí buñuelos. Yesterday, blank, I ate buñuelos, a type of fried dessert that's delicious. Probably for the first time. Por primera vez, comí buñuelos. Blank, los guatemaltecos comen postres. Either generally they eat pastries or please. It's probably generally. Por lo general, los guatemaltecos comen postres when? Por la noche, at night, or por supuesto, of course. Probably por la noche, at night. Mañana visitamos Chichicastenango, Raquel. All right, and then complete with the appropriate expressions of por. Fuimos a concierto. We went to a concert. Why? Or how? Or when? Por la música. Omar quiere visitar a su familia en Perú. Omar wants to visit his family in Peru. Va, what? He's going for a month in summer. Por un mes en el verano. Número 3. En la ciudad había mucha gente. In the city, there was a lot of people everywhere, por todas partes. El profesor de español está enfermo hoy. The Spanish teacher is sick today. ¿Quién va a enseñar? Who's going to teach? Probably for him, por él. And pagué $200 de avión. I paid $200 blank de avión for the tickets, for the airplane tickets. All right, let's see if you can understand these two conversations.
Lleven zapatos adecuados.
Tienes razón, es difícil caminar por los senderos.
So he's telling her and a group of people, lleven zapatos adecuados, wear appropriate shoes. You're right, it is difficult to walk on the trails or paths.
¿Por cuánto tiempo se debe dejar la leche en el refrigerador?
Por una semana más o menos.
For how long should one leave milk in the refrigerator? For a week, more or less. Notice the uses of por. For how long? For a week. All right, and let's see if you can understand. I can listen and understand as people talk about their dislikes and likes about outdoor cooking. A group of teenagers discussing whether to have a picnic or dinner at someone's home next Saturday to welcome a group of new students. As you listen to their opinions, decide whether the person is in favor or not in favor of an outdoor picnic.
Es más difícil preparar la comida con leña y fósforos. Si llueve el sábado, es imposible.
Estoy de acuerdo. Queremos hablar con los estudiantes que nos visitan. No queremos pasar el tiempo buscando las piedras y leña.
Es más informal y divertido comer al aire libre. Recojan ustedes las piedras y leña el viernes.
Okay, so the first two are saying we don't want to spend time looking for rocks and firewood, and she says it's better to eat outdoors. Just do it on Friday so we can be ready for Saturday. As you look for, I can read and understand typical signs you would see in a park overnight or at a camping site. As you look for firewood around the campgrounds, you come across several signs that give instructions to park visitors. Read the signs below. Which signs focus on hiking, cooking, or using the cabins? Apaguen los incendios completamente con agua. So, usted is put out, right? Put out the fire completely with water. Apagan las radios después de las 11 de la noche. Shut off your radios after 11 o'clock at night. No recojan las flores del sendero. Don't pick up the flowers from the path or trail. All right, you have these activities, activity 19 and 20, and these instant checks and final assessments. And there is no test the end of this week. Thank you for everything, and good luck.